Divinely revealed. 7. Miraculous steps to manifest freedom from money's control over your emotions. In the heart of bustling England, amidst the aroma of fresh-baked goods and the hum of heartfelt worship at St. Michael's Church, a stirring experience was about to unfold. Sarah, a devoted single mother, felt the weight of her life crushing down from all sides. Each day felt like a battle for survival. What if there was a divine intervention, an answer to her prayers that could lift this suffocating worry? She desperately longed for a miracle. It couldn't just exist in the scriptures, it had to come alive for her. One crisp Sunday, the congregation swayed together, their voices soaring toward heaven. The pastor's words danced around her. "Miraculous freedom awaits you, dear ones." A radiant light seemed to filter down through the stained glass, enveloping Sarah in warmth. Could it be? Was her heart truly reading the signs? God was working something magnificent. As the service reached its peak, the pastor pointed directly to her. "You, Sarah, you are destined for financial breakthrough. Your burdens will be lifted and your heart will be set free." A rush of gasps spread through the congregation, and Sarah's heart raced. Hope ignited within her, but doubt crept in, whispering insidious doubts. What would her family think? Would they trust the promises of God rather than clinging to their constant worry about money? Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. Sinking deeper into her budgeting spreadsheets, Sarah began to feel the joy of family moments slip away. No more impromptu outings, just cold calculations illuminated by the harsh glow of a flickering light bulb. Money became an ever-tightening noose, leaving her breathless. Tears streamed down her face one evening as she cried out to God, "I can't carry this alone. Show me a sign, Lord." Desperate to ease her burdens, her community rallied in her honor that very night. Voices, woven together in a tapestry of faith, echoed within the church walls. Their prayers carried a tangible presence, each syllable intertwining into a vibrant wave of hope. The atmosphere buzzed with expectancy. God was in their midst. In that sacred moment, something shifted within Sarah. She felt the gentle stirring of revelation. True wealth is not found in coins or notes, but in love, faith, and unity. As this powerful realization swept over her, the tension of her financial worries loosened its grip. Riches of the heart poured over her, and she knew she was not alone. Her community hugged her tighter than she could fathom, lifting her up and weaving her into their collective hope. Just as light pierced through the aisles of darkness surrounding her, the promise of unexpected blessings began to blossom. Laughter trickled back into her home, smiles igniting warmth long forgotten. But the question loomed over her. Would her faith endure through the fierce storms of doubt? As they gathered once more for prayer, anticipation hung thick in the air, setting the stage for a divine encounter that could change everything. The flickering candlelight cast soft shadows over the gathering as St. Michael's Church erupted in a chorus of voices led by anointed worship. Sarah stood amongst her community, heart racing with excitement and fear. The pastor clasped his hands, his voice rising above the notes of the hymn. "Friends, do you believe God can lift burdens tonight?" A wave of amens filled the air, but Sarah hesitated. The question hovered in her mind. Was she truly ready to trust? To step into that divine light, away from the darkness of her financial anxieties? As the service progressed, Sarah felt a magnetic pull to the altar. She could almost hear God whisper, "Step forward, my child." With trembling knees, she decided to surrender her heaviness. Her feet moved almost of their own accord, leading her to the pulpit where the atmosphere crackled with expectancy. she could sense the Spirit urging her to let go. The pastor looked deeply into her eyes, as if peering into her very soul. God sees you, Sarah. Your struggles are not overlooked. His voice, filled with compassion, pressed against her heart. At that moment, a boldness awakened within her. She opened her mouth and spoke, I accept this prophecy. I trust you, Lord. A hush fell over the congregation. Her words hung in the air, solid and unshakable. Suddenly, it felt as if the heavens had opened. A rush of warmth enveloped her, and every fear began to dissolve. The collective faith surrounding her bubbled over, igniting a fire in her spirit. As she returned to her seat, she couldn't help but notice the shimmering light that danced among her fellow worshippers. The love they shared transcended their individual struggles. In their unity, she felt a spark of divine promise. Days passed, and Sarah's mind was ablaze with newfound possibilities. She began to envision what life could look like if she truly believed in abundance. She rallied her children, her closest friends, and even her neighbor, setting aside an evening for prayer and vision casting. What if we dream together? She encouraged, her eyes shining with excitement. Each heart shared visions of hope, revealing desires that seemed impossible under the weight of financial burdens. One spoke of starting a small bakery, another envisioned a community garden. Ideas flourished like wildflowers, coloring the gray skies that had once loomed over them. Sarah felt the chains of worry releasing their grip. Each dream was a step toward the freedom she longed for. Then one evening, while catching up on bills with her children spread out around her, a knock echoed through the doorway. It was an unexpected visitor, a kind-hearted church member with a basket of groceries. I felt led to bring this for you, she smiled, warmth radiating from her like sunbeams. In that moment, Sarah realized God's provision often comes through community. Tears of gratitude blurred her vision as she hugged the woman tightly. It wasn't just food, it was proof of God's care. Their embrace spoke volumes, reinforcing the beauty found in unity and compassion. But just as hope blazed brightly in her heart, a flicker of doubt crept back in. Would this miracle last? Could she sustain this renewed spirit in the face of life's relentless challenges? And what of the prophecies shared in the church? As Sarah turned her thoughts toward future gatherings, she felt that stirring once more, the promise of something greater on the horizon. Would she dare to walk deeper into the mystery of faith? With anticipation making her heart race, she clutched her children closer, whispering a prayer for guidance. Lord, what do you have planned for us next? Little did she know that the answer was just around the corner, waiting to unveil itself in a way she could never have imagined. The morning sun poured through the kitchen window, bathing the room in golden light. Sarah sat at the table, surrounded by her children, their laughter mingling with the scent of the breakfast she had hustled to prepare. Yet, even amidst this joy, her heart carried a restless whisper. The visions of a bakery and a community garden danced in the corners of her mind, teasing her with possibility. But the familiar weight of doubt was there, like an unwelcome visitor, tugging at her resolve. Can I do this? Can I really elevate our lives? She pondered. Just then, a soft voice interrupted her thoughts. Mom, what's wrong? Her youngest, Lily, looked up with wide and curious eyes. Nothing, sweetheart. Just thinking, she replied, forcing a smile. As she ruffled Lily's hair, she felt the warmth of her daughter's innocence filtering through her worries, a comforting embrace amid uncertainty. After breakfast, Sarah decided to take a walk to the local park, hoping the fresh air would clear her mind. As she strolled beneath the canopy of trees, she prayed silently. Lord, I need clarity. I want to trust, but my heart keeps holding back. Each step felt like an offering of faith, molding her desires into prayers, each footfall resonating with a promise. The sunbeams flickered between the leaves, igniting a sense of hope within her. Suddenly, she caught sight of Mrs. Johnson, the church member who had surprised her with groceries. Sarah! Mrs. Johnson waved, her smile brightening the crisp day. I'm so glad to see you. Can we talk? Sarah felt a stirring in her heart. Perhaps God was using her community to guide her. They found a bench, and as they sat, Mrs. Johnson shared her story of struggle and faith. You know, she began, when I was in a tight spot not long ago, I kept praying for guidance. And then I felt a nudge. I started making baked goods and selling them at the market. It has transformed my life. Sarah leaned in, captivated by the possibilities painting this unexpected conversation. Really? You started a business? She asked, a spark igniting within her. It's not just about the money. It's sharing my passion, and it brought me closer to my community. I felt God leading me every step of the way, even when I doubted, Mrs. Johnson said, her voice steady and assured. The words washed over Sarah like a soothing balm. Could there be a similar calling for her, a path that honored her dreams and relieved her burdens? The conversation flowed, full of laughter and encouragement. As they parted, Mrs. Johnson placed her hands on Sarah's shoulders. Remember, dear, God has a plan for you. Step out in faith, and He'll be right behind you. With renewed confidence, Sarah returned home, her heart soaring. She gathered her children, brimming with excitement. Let's pray together tonight about our dreams and what we can create. But as night fell, so did shadows of doubt. What if she truly stepped out and it was a mistake? What if there was failure waiting at the end of her courage? That uncertainty lingered through the night. Would she take that leap of faith? What awaited her on the other side? As Sarah closed her eyes, she whispered, Lord, guide me. I will trust you, no matter the cost of my faith. Little did she know that a sudden event was about to shift everything. As dawn broke, a soft light spilled into Sarah's room, illuminating her quiet resolve. She felt the warmth of hope wrap around her like a comforting quilt. Looking at her sleeping children, she whispered a prayer. Lord, I want to step out, but I need your assurance. The morning unfolded gently. Unable to shake the excitement from the night before, Sarah gathered her little ones. Today, we're going to explore the idea of our bakery. I want you to share what you think it could be like. Their eyes sparkled with enthusiasm, and Lily bounced on her toes. Can I have a cupcake shop? I want pink ones with sprinkles, Jake chimed in. I want to bake bread. We can call it Sarah's Kitchen. Their vibrant dreams filled the kitchen with joy, creating an atmosphere of creativity and family bonding. With each suggestion, Sarah felt the tightness in her chest begin to loosen. Just like that, her doubts fluttered away on the wings of their laughter. Later that afternoon, Sarah decided to put her thoughts into action. She stepped out to explore the local farmers' market, her heart racing with anticipation. Would she find resources or inspiration? The vibrant stalls were bustling with activity, laughter, and commerce. As she walked, she spotted a sign that read, Community Kitchen Space for Rent. Could this be the answer to her prayers? A chill ran down her spine, igniting a flame of possibility within her. Drawing in a breath of courage, she approached the booth. Excuse me, could you tell me more about this kitchen space? The kind lady behind the counter smiled warmly. We offer a fully equipped kitchen where local bakers can come to create and sell their goods. It's been a beautiful way to foster community and share talents. Sarah's heart raced. Potential bubbled within her like yeast rising in dough. Do you have a spot available? Yes, we'd love to have you, especially with your enthusiasm. As details fell into place, the world around Sarah faded in and out. All she could hear was the echo of her heartbeat, pulsing with each possibility that unfurled before her. She could picture herself kneading dough, surrounded by the divine scents of fresh bread and pastries. The vision was alive. After a long discussion, she walked away from the booth with a notebook filled with ideas. That night, after tucking her children into bed, Sarah sat at the kitchen table, her heart overflowing with gratitude. With each line she wrote, she began to feel an even deeper clarity. Dreams, woven with prayer and vision, began to take a tangible form before her. Yet beneath the excitement, a whisper of fear still lingered. What if things didn't work out as planned? As she prepared for bed, her mind whirred back to Mrs. Johnson's words, "Step out in faith." Perhaps stepping out was all she needed to do. But how to quiet that lingering voice of doubt? Before she drifted off, she whispered a prayer. "Lord, help my unbelief. I choose to step into the unknown." As she closed her eyes, an unexpected idea illuminated her thoughts. Perhaps a gathering for the community could spark a wave of support. What if she opened her kitchen to the neighborhood? Would they come together to share dreams and recipes? Suddenly, clarity washed over her like a gentle rain. There was no need to do this alone. With newfound resolve, Sarah pledged to prepare not just for her bakery, but for a night that could unite her community. Little did she know that this decision would create ripples far beyond her imagination. As the sun dipped below the horizon, casting a warm glow over the kitchen, Sarah felt an overwhelming sense of purpose wash over her. The idea of bringing the community together ignited a fire in her heart that she hadn't anticipated. It was more than just a bakery now. It was about creating a space for others, a sanctuary of sorts. The next day, she gathered supplies and set her plan in motion. With a small whiteboard and colorful markers, she began drafting a flyer. "Join us for an evening of recipes and dreams," it read. "Bring a dish to share, and let's talk about what we can create together." Each stroke of the marker felt like a brush with destiny, and with every word, she envisioned laughter and camaraderie that echoed through the air like music. She could almost hear the clinking of glasses and the comforting warmth of shared experiences filling the space around her. As the flyer took shape, her children peeked over her shoulder, eyes wide with intrigue. "Can we help?" Lily asked, her voice filled with excitement. "Of course! You can be my little helpers," Sarah replied, a smile stretching across her face. They cut colorful paper, folded them into neat triangles, and eagerly stuck the flyers onto lampposts and community boards. Sarah marveled at their joy, witnessing their small hands carrying big dreams out into the world. With every corner they visited, she felt more convinced that they could spark something beautiful. But deep inside, doubt whispered again. What if nobody came? What if her neighbors didn't care? As she tucked Lily and Jake into bed that evening, she took a moment, leaning over them with a heart full of hope and trepidation. "Let's pray for our friends, shall we?" she suggested, her voice steady yet soft. "Lord, help us reach those who need to connect. Bring them to our gathering and help us share our dreams," she prayed, her heart lifting as she spoke. The next few days blurred into a whirlwind of activity. Sarah organized the kitchen, stocked up on ingredients, and prepared for the gathering. Friends and neighbors turned up to help, each offering their own special recipes, filling her home with a range of delightful aromas. As the day approached, the excitement felt palpable. Could this simple evening transform into something more? She yearned for connection and community, a deeper bond that transcended her initial dream of a bakery. When the evening finally arrived, Sarah's kitchen buzzed with energy. The aroma of baking wafted through the air, mingling with laughter and chatter. Neighbors from all walks of life gathered around, sharing not just food, but stories, hopes, and moments of vulnerability. Yet, amidst the joy, Sarah's heart still fluttered with uncertainty. She glanced at the door, praying for one last miracle, a sign that this was indeed meant to be. As laughter and voices intertwined, a woman approached her, eyes sparkling with anticipation. "I heard about your gathering and just had to come. I'm new in town. What are you planning to do with this kitchen of yours?" Sarah's breath caught in her throat. An unexpected warmth blossomed in her chest. I want to create a place where we can all share our dreams." The woman smiled knowingly, as though sensing Sarah's inner struggle. "In doing that, you'll inspire others to step into their own light. Just you wait, the ripple effect will surprise you." Just then, the kitchen doors burst open, revealing more neighbors coming in, curious and ready to share. How would this evening unfurl, weaving connections that could transform lives? Sarah's heart swelled, sensing the beginning of something monumental. But little did she know, her journey was just beginning. The kitchen shimmered with energy as the gathering unfolded. Each person brought with them not just a dish, but a piece of their own story, woven into the vibrant tapestry of the evening. The smells of baked bread mingled with the sweetness of pies, and the sound of laughter danced in the air, lifting hearts like balloons into the night sky. "Look at everyone!" Lily exclaimed, her eyes alight with wonder. Jake nodded eagerly, weaving through the guests, filling plates and pouring glasses with the enthusiasm of a young host. Sarah's heart swelled as she watched her children, filled with joy and purpose, helping to create what she had envisioned. "Can you believe this started as just an idea?" Sarah mused aloud to the woman who had first approached her. The woman, Emma, nodded, her gaze sweeping over the crowd. "Ideas have power, especially when they're fueled by love and hope," she replied, her voice like a soothing melody among the joyful noise. As they stood side by side, a stillness arose for a moment as everyone gathered around the large table. Sarah felt a compelling urge to speak, a sacred prompt whispering through the air. She took a deep breath and smiled, her voice rising above the chatter. "Thank you all for coming tonight. This gathering is more than just food. It's a chance for us to truly connect. Let's share not only our dishes, but our hearts." The room fell silent, eyes turned toward her. Something shifted, an invisible thread tethered them all together in that fleeting moment. "Let's begin with a moment of gratitude," Sarah continued. "Let's take turns sharing a dream we have, or something we hope for this community." One by one, they shared their dreams. A longing for more kindness, a hope for a community garden, the wish for a youth group to inspire the younger generations. Each story was a brushstroke on the canvas of their congregation, painting vivid colors of hope and possibility. As each person spoke, Sarah's heart ached with warmth. But somewhere within, her old friend, doubt, lingered in the shadows. Would this be sustainable? Would they truly support each other beyond this evening? Suddenly, a soft voice broke through her thoughts. "I've been here a while now, and honestly, it feels magical tonight," a tall man added. "But what happens tomorrow?" His words hung in the air, a pin dropping in the midst of a celebration. Sarah's heartbeat quickened. She understood the gravity of the inquiry, but within it lay a thin thread of clarity. "He's right," she mused. "This evening is only the beginning." A spark began to unfold in her mind. No longer just a gathering, but a movement, a sacred ripple that could lead to lasting change. What if we meet every week, a potluck where we can dive deeper into our dreams and struggles? Excitement murmured through the crowd. Sarah felt a wave of divine inspiration surge within her. Yes, this was the continuation, the nurturing of what had been birthed tonight. As she watched her neighbors nod and smile, Sarah could almost see the flickering lights of destiny igniting in their eyes. Could this small idea truly grow into something more? With a gulp, she moved forward in faith. Let's not simply share meals, but create a safe place to build each other up. Before she could finish, the door swung open again. It wasn't just another neighbor. It was an elderly woman, Margaret, from down the street. Her frail frame seemed to beam with light as she stepped inside, seemingly drawn by the spirit of the gathering. "Someone told me there was something wonderful happening here," Margaret announced, her voice cracking but full of warmth. "I hope I'm not too late." Just then, a hush fell over the room as every eye turned to her. What could Margaret bring to this community? Sarah found herself wondering. A silence hung over her, a tender pause pregnant with possibility. Would this evening evolve into something even greater, weaving together lives in a miraculous tapestry of faith and connection? Sarah took a step forward, her heart already whispering the next chapter. Margaret's presence filled the kitchen with a gentle warmth. The shadows of doubt seemed to retreat further into the corners as she stood there, a symbol of wisdom and experience. The air was thick with anticipation, as though this very moment had been channeling through time to align perfectly within their gathering. "Dear Margaret," Sarah smiled and moved to embrace her. "You could never be too late for something beautiful." Margaret chuckled softly, her eyes twinkling like stars. "It's so lovely to see all these smiling faces, sharing and laughing together." She seemed to absorb the joy in the room as if it were the very essence of life. But there was more. The air pulsed with an unspoken truth that tugged upon Sarah's heart. "Would you like to share something, Margaret?" Sarah asked, raising the question gently as if offering a delicate flower. A contemplative silence draped over the crowd. Everyone leaned in, eager for her words, which were often laced with the depth of experience. The elderly woman shifted her weight, her hands lightly clasped before her. "You know, my dears," Margaret began, her voice warm with the wisdom of ages, "life has its cycles. There are moments of abundance and moments of scarcity. In the times of lack, it is easy to feel lost, heavy-hearted." Many in the room nodded, and Sarah felt a connection building, a collective understanding that cut through their individual stories. "But," Margaret continued, her voice rising with a newfound strength, "it's crucial to remember that our true wealth lies not in material things, but in the love we cultivate, the friendships we nurture, and the faith we share." The guests began to murmur among themselves, quietly reflecting on her words. They recognized a flicker of divine revelation settling over the room. A collective inhalation of hope seemed to resonate deeper. "Perhaps, just perhaps," she continued, "what we need is not more possession, but more connection. Let us find freedom from this invisible chain of material concern that binds our hearts." The energy shifted palpably, a gentle breeze rustling through those gathered. They looked around, their eyes shimmering with the new possibility. The distance between strangers began to dissolve, replaced by an intimate companionship that nourished every soul present. Sarah's heart raced. Margaret's simple words echoed, tapping into something profound within her. She saw the spark of change igniting in the faces around her. Yes, this was the foundation. They could grow together, threading their lives around shared purpose and unwavering support. "What if we could create something magnificent together?" Sarah proposed, excitement bubbling in her voice. "Imagine monthly gatherings where we not only share meals, but also our talents, our gifts, our burdens, our prayers." The room stirred again. A cacophony of voices rose in agreement. Ideas began cascading like a waterfall, and laughter bubbled anew at the possibility of a journal or a shared library, where everyone could contribute, learn, and grow, free from the silent stressors that kept their hearts bound. Margaret leaned in closer, as if sensing an awakening. "You are all blessed," she stated gently, "but true blessing flourishes in the soil of shared dreams and mutual support." A profound stillness settled once again. Time seemed to hold its breath, waiting for what would come next in this blossoming journey. And just then, the lights flickered, casting an ethereal glow through the room. Was it merely the old wiring, or something more? Each face turned upward in unison, mouths agape in wonder. Could this be the sign we're hoping for? Sarah thought, heart pounding. Are we being called to step into something greater? As she pondered this mystery, the door creaked open once more. A shadowed figure loomed just on the threshold. Who could this new arrival be, and what role could they play in this divine unfolding? A current of excitement surged through Sarah as she waited, breathless, for God's plans to further emerge. The door slowly opened, revealing a figure wrapped in a soft, glowing light. Sarah's breath caught in her throat. It was as if the very atmosphere had welcomed this newcomer, amplifying the already charged energy in the room. The figure stepped into the kitchen, and as they did, the shadows that lingered seemed to dance away. A tall, slender woman with gentle features and kind eyes stood before them, radiating peace. Her name, Sarah later learned, was Ilara. "Forgive my intrusion," she spoke softly, yet her voice carried through the room like a melodic chime. I felt a stirring in my heart as I passed by. "Your gathering called to me." Margaret's gaze met Ilara's, and recognition sparkled in her eyes. "Ilara, it is wonderful to see you again. We have so much to share." Ilara smiled warmly as she gazed over the gathering, sensing the palpable warmth and hope. "You are all at a turning point," she said. "I can feel it in my bones. This is a sacred moment." The crowd shifted, intrigued, leaning closer to hear her words. Sarah felt a thrill run through her, the anticipation growing thicker. Could Ilara offer guidance on their shared vision? "Let me tell you a story," Ilara began, settling into the space of reverence that had enveloped them. "Years ago, I found myself entangled in a web of worry. I believed that my value was tied to what I owned, to monetary success. But on my journey, I realized true richness lies within the connections we forge and the selflessness we nurture." Ilara paused, and it felt as if the room had plunged into deeper silence, a quiet that invited reflection. "Just as you were discussing," she continued, "the divine whispers a powerful truth. We are not meant to carry the burden of materialism alone. It drains our spirits and stifles our potential." Her eyes sparkled with conviction. "Instead, let us break free together. Start with love. Begin with kindness." Suddenly, Sarah glimpsed it, a vision of joy spreading like fire through the gathering. The idea of collaboration felt possible. It could light the way through darkness. "I've witnessed miraculous changes when small acts of faith are transformed into community engagements," Ilara said earnestly. "Imagine a marketplace of sharing, gifts offered freely, prayers exchanged, skills traded, your burdens lightened in the process." A wave of enthusiasm rippled through the group. Sarah glanced around, catching sight of Margaret nodding approvingly, her heart swelling with the palpable energy in the room. Here amidst their gathering, something profound was being birthed. "Every act of generosity brings us closer to the divine," Ilara reminded them. "It sings to the Creator's heart. We start by trusting in one another, trusting in God's provision, and not succumbing to anxiety when challenges arise." As Ilara spoke, a warm light embraced them, a glow that felt profoundly cosmic, yet comforting. Sarah sensed a shift within. A beautiful courage emerged from the depths of her spirit. "Let it begin with us," Sarah said, feeling emboldened. "Let's set our intentions. Let's build this community of connection and creativity." The crowd erupted in enthusiastic agreement. It felt like a call to arms, a joyous rallying cry. But just as they were swept away in their excitement, a mysterious breeze stirred in the kitchen, causing papers to flutter and the lights to flicker once more. All heads turned toward the window, where the atmosphere pulsed with an unexpected energy. "What's happening?" someone whispered in awe. Ilara's expression tilted with intrigue. "It's as if the heavens are responding." And there, just beyond the window, was a sight that none of them had anticipated. Would it provide clarity or further mystery? The moment hung in the air, charged with possibility, as they collectively held their breath, hearts yearning for the next unfolding of their sacred journey. What revelation rested beyond that glass, ready to illuminate their path? A hush settled over the gathering. The flickering lights cast playful shadows, hinting at something beautiful just outside. Sarah's heart raced. She wanted to leap forward, to uncover the mystery, but there was a stillness, a sacred pause, as if the universe itself held its breath. Ilara moved closer to the window, her ethereal presence adding to the magnetic pull of the moment. Without speaking, she beckoned the others to approach. Eyes wide with anticipation, the group shifted, clustering together, drawn by an unseen force. Outside, colors danced in the twilight. It was as if the sky itself had transformed into a canvas, painted with streaks of gold and lavender. Sarah leaned forward, captivated. What was it that they were meant to see? Ilara, her voice barely above a whisper, said, "Look closely. Each hue carries a message." As they watched, the colors began to shift and twirl, forming dazzling shapes that told stories. For Sarah, the swirling light depicted scenes of community, children playing together, neighbors sharing meals, moments of connection that made her heart swell with warmth. A gentle tug of understanding swelled within her. "This," she murmured, "this is what we are meant to create." Others echoed her sentiments. "It's hope," murmured a voice from the back. "It's joy." "Yes," Ilara chimed in, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "The radiant colors reflect the divine energy of love that binds us. We are called to be vessels of light, sharing our gifts, nurturing one another like the blossoms of spring." From the back of the room, Margaret raised her hand, her expression earnest. "Ilara, can you help us understand how we can move from this vision to action? What steps do we take?" Ilara turned to face Margaret. "Our hearts need to align with our intentions. The first step is to cultivate gratitude. Acknowledge the blessings already present in your lives. Let freedom from the hustle of materialism bloom." Nodding slowly, Sarah felt it resonate within her. Gratitude did indeed shift perspectives, turning desperation into abundance. "And then?" someone prompted. "The second step," Ilara continued, warming to her task, "is embracing simplicity. Release the need for excess. Choose what truly feeds your spirit instead of what society expects. Find joy in the less. Experience freedom in what is essential." Waves of agreement filled the room. They were hungry for this guidance, eager to break free. Ilara pressed on. "Next, entwine your lives through acts of kindness, because when you serve others, you serve the divine within yourself. It's like setting fire to your gifts, offering warmth to others, and igniting a chain reaction." The enthusiasm grew more infectious. Each word Ilara shared illuminated their path, a sacred roadmap each person could follow. "The fifth step," she added with vibrant excitement, "is to dream together. Envision the outcome collectively. Co-create. What will it look like when this community flourishes in faith?" The room buzzed with anticipating chatter. Each participant's heart began to race with possibility. "Then comes surrender," Ilara said, her tone now firm and steady. "Trust the process. Let go of control and allow the divine to intercede. Our plans may not always align with those above, but therein lies the beauty." The atmosphere crackled as they leaned into the weight of her words. "And finally," Ilara said gently, "share your stories, document your journey, speak of hope and transformation. When you share, you encourage others to recognize their own sacred stories." As she finished, an unexpected stillness returned, enveloping them in a warm cocoon of hope. Sarah felt elevated, ready to embark on this journey of collective growth. But then, a whisper of wind rustled the curtains. The colors outside shimmered and shifted dramatically once more, and Sarah felt a stirring in her heart. "What's happening now?" she asked breathlessly. A subtle shift, a new revelation was on the horizon. Ilara glanced at the window, her expression filled with both wonder and reverence. "Wait, something profound is about to emerge." Collectively, they held their breath, the air thick with anticipation. What new miracle awaited them? Would it ignite their souls further? The colors outside erupted in a radiant display, illuminating the night sky like God's own masterpiece. Shades of pink and gold intertwined like the threads of their lives, each hue reflecting the community spirit ignited in Sarah's kitchen. As their eyes widened at the spectacle, a voice resonated from the depths of their hearts. Hope, unity, love. Suddenly, a hush fell over the gathering. The gentle breeze flowed through the window, wrapping around them like a soft embrace. "This is it. This is the moment we've been waiting for," Sarah exclaimed, overwhelmed. Ilara nodded knowingly, her gaze fixed on the ever-shifting lights outside. It's as though the heavens are affirming your journey and allowing you to witness the beauty of your shared purpose. Thrilling electricity coursed through Sarah's veins as she absorbed the magnitude of their unity. Look around! This is the manifestation of everything we've dreamed of together, the moments we've envisioned, the burdens we hope to lift. This is our chance. In that sacred instance, a soft beam of light broke through the curtain of colors, washing over them in a warm wave, and it felt as though God's presence enveloped each individual. Ilara turned to them, eyes filled with assurance. Commit yourselves to this journey. Trust in your dreams and the community you've started to cultivate. Together, under this divine light, you are capable of immeasurable transformation. As her words resonated deep within their souls, Sarah felt a ripple of shared understanding pass through the room. A profound bond formed, transcending doubts and fears. Each face radiated conviction, an unspoken promise binding them together to nourish and uplift one another. The worries that once consumed them began to dissolve like mist in the sun, replaced by a fierce resolve to live out their dreams. The elder Margaret spoke up, her voice steady and vibrant. What can we do to sustain this movement? How do we let this light guide our steps forward? Ilara smiled at her. You already have the seeds planted. As you meet each week, share ideas, experiences, prayers, and food. Support one another. Create a network where love and provision flow effortlessly, outpacing worries and fears. Sarah's heart soared, bursting with inspiration. Could we create a community fund, a way for people to contribute or seek help when times get tough? The group murmured in agreement, excitement mingling with faith. Yes, we could take turns sharing our skills, offering services in exchange, another neighbor chimed in. Suddenly, the room filled with fervor and ideas sprang forth like a stream. Dreams transformed into action. They found solace in each other's stories, laughter mingling with determination, lighting the way like the very colors that danced outside. As night deepened, it became clear that this gathering was not just an event. It was the birth of a movement grounded in faith, freedom, and community love. Each individual pledged to use their unique gifts in service of others, and that night they collected promises instead of possessions. Let us be vessels of light, trusted stewards of God's purpose, Sarah encouraged, her voice steadied by their collective energy. Let us lift one another from the burdens of fear and worry, for they cannot hold us back from the love we have found right here. They prayed together, hearts open and minds free. In that holy union, the bonds of doubt shattered, replaced by vibrant faith stirring within. The evening resonated with the pulse of something bigger. Every soul felt undeniably led by a divine current, propelling them toward transformation. In their shared power, they discovered unity, the embodiment of faith manifesting through community bonds. In that luminous kitchen, amidst laughter, food, and fervent promises, they felt the warmth of God's presence blanket them, a reminder that their stories weaved into one common thread, glowing amidst adversity. As dawn broke the next day, illuminating the potential of a new beginning, Sarah awoke with a heart full of empowerment and gratitude. She understood that each step forward would cultivate flourishing gardens of hope and connection, a true manifestation of the promises spoken that sacred night. This was their divine calling, and they would rise together. Now, beloved brothers and sisters, if this story of faith and community resonated with you, you need to subscribe immediately to the channel. This is the moment to show your support. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm, for the world needs to see these manifestations of hope. Comment below your reactions and testimonies about this ending. Let your own journeys of faith inspire others. And don't wait even one more second to share this video with at least 5 friends who need to witness this incredible manifestation of God's love. Join us on this path. The light is calling you.